developers do we have? Yeah, like one big developer.
Well, no, you got a couple proposals right now, one on the south side, one out at Union Terrace. I don't know if they probably wouldn't be grandfathered yet because they aren't even approved yet. But that may be something to think of. And the one on the south side off of Pell Street, 78, it's a rather large one. We're talking 120 apartment buildings.
The one in Union Terrace? Oh, the one
That's
in
also
Union
another
Terrace,
large, proposed by Mr. Attia.
Yeah, but that's that you're gonna take up. I mean, you tried that before, and you have.
Alan, how about those impact fees? What generation, how much money they generate, yeah?
An impact fee?
For models, for the models out there.
What percentage are you talking about?
The question is,
Percentage.
what amount of a fee would scare away development?
Right.
That's the issue. And
Yeah.
that price point varies from community to community,
Okay.
market to market.
You want to look at voluntary compliance as something that they can live with, that's not, unreasonable,
I
and they're
think,
willing to pay readily, and that we
I
would
think
help.
you should look at that, because there are certainly, DACI members who have already and looking forward are willing to step up to some big things that normally would be public expenses, so you can at least look at it that way as well.
You could see some examples as well.
how,
You see some examples of how the impact fee would work. Only, just thinking about development project as a developer, you develop a property with a tax assessment of, little to nothing, and you invest millions of dollars in this project that now generates additional tax revenue. There's value to that to the city now. But the city, so, and then adding another impact fee on top of that it's just something to be zoned out.
If you look at even specifically at some of the city centers projects, some things they've already done, like the Arts Walk improvements, and those were essentially public improvements. Should that count towards an impact fee? I think reasonably so. And some things in the land collective plan that they put together, like the park, City Green Park, that would be in the 7th to 8th and Walnut to Hamilton Street block, is potentially a multi-million-dollar investment in a public facility. So I think, that needs to be part of the discussion, I think.
I mean, any new development project that we develop, we make the public improvements go beyond just our building. The city comes to us for well, you're out here now doing this, let's fix this while you're out here. That comes out of, a cost that so I would just be interested in seeing how an impact fee is worked other places, not that it's just another, just getting paid with.
well, what JB has demonstrated repeatedly is that when you tell him he has to do something, he'll push back. When you tell him we've got a problem that we really like him to do something about, he'll be there. And I think we need to find out from JB, how does the market get affected on these levels? I'd be willing to bet that JB would be willing to put some resources into this issue
I think
without making.
Yeah, I think he would. I mean, he told me that there's things going on.
I agree with you completely that we would. If it wasn't without us being forced, then
We put it as a rule that sort of.
And we do this. I mean, we do this now with the Live Near Work program, where it's an incentive to get people to live downtown, to live in the surrounding communities, and it's an incentive to improve housing, home ownership rates in the city. And we do this now. I think we not only do we provide it for employees at City Center, but we also provide it for officers in the downtown police department, along with administrative people at Middlebury College as well. So.
He has stepped up to the table numerous times, doing things for the city. Even has done some things where CDC should have done it, and I'm not knocking CDC, where JB took the initiative to do it rather than CDC doing it, and he has. But you're right. I mean, he's a very reasonable man. But you're right. Don't tell me. And look, JB's Irish. You don't tell an Irishman. You don't tell an Irishman we have to do it. Trying to convince us.
Government is only successful when the marketplace allows it to be.
Exactly.
Because if you push that too hard, the market changes, and we don't have anything on which to solve the problem. And I hate to sound like a Republican, my friends, but there is market reality here that we got to deal with.
And we're talking about what City Center has done. I mean, we still have the waterfront, and
Yeah.
That's going slow. That's going real slow.
I just wanna make sure
It's going
that,
real slow because they're not there right now.
listen, I just wanna make sure that out of this committee, that we come up with something. I mean, I personally like the idea of trying to define a neighborhood, not, and taking that neighborhood at a time. But at the same time, we have to pop up your staff. I mean, we have to make sure that we get the right staff in there. And, us in city council, we in city council probably should take a more active role in that. And we can't hire anybody, so we have to depend on you. But the money's there. If we need transfer, we can do that.
From my perspective, you will see that. I will be pushing for that. But again, allow us to, with our planning, and again, we're trying to bring our planning staff back up to present these types of things. I mean, again, we have to study this stuff. We have to come before, with plans and looking at housing. I mean, we know those are things that need to be done, but again, the vicious cycle of having the planning staff.
Listen, I'm the only to interrupt you, but what we gotta do is we gotta get back to redevelopment authority. We gotta get back into doing things that, looking at these houses, we can take. I get people calling me. I have about 5 Indian guys who want to redevelop properties, and also Hispanics guys that want to redevelop properties, redevelop in a nice way, and they don't have any property. I mean, there's a bunch of properties out there, but they don't have them.
Working on it. We're working on it.
That's true. It's true. I mean, we gotta do something.
So can we go to upside? I think you guys wanted to talk about upside on your agenda.
Yeah,
We have Jesse here.
let's get
Probably
an
not gonna keep you this long.
Let's get an update on Upside Allentown, and then call it an evening, and we'll try to summarize. I'll talk with several of you and see if we get a good summary. Okay, Upside.
I got some more
Okay.
dead trees here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. One of the agenda items. One of the agenda items tonight is an update on Upside Allentown. So what's being distributed is actually just a synopsis of what Upside Allentown is all about. That's the first page. And how is it run? That's the second page. The third page is actually what is going on right now in Upside Allentown. So allow me to start from the first page. It just occurred to me that the only time that the city council actually came across the entity called Upside Allentown was like almost 4 years ago when we asked for city council resolution to have this program submitted to the Pennsylvania DCED in order to gain a status called Keystone Community. And that was it. So, let me refresh your memory that Upside Allentown is a volunteer-driven community revitalization strategy. It is overseen by a partnership among area residents, we have a lot of them, neighborhood organizations, such as Old Allentown and the Old Fairgrounds. We have a bunch of nonprofits there, the corporate entities who are local, donating money for the movement of projects, and also public agencies such as the city, county, and the purpose is really to improve the quality of life of residents, to grow business environment, and to enhance the general livability of the area. We have more than 100 volunteers right now, from those who are paid, like me, for example, who provide staff support. But essentially, Upside Allentown is a response to what NIS is doing in downtown Allentown. We would like to ensure that the neighborhoods around downtown benefit from what is actually rejuvenating downtown. So this is a complementation of what's happening downtown. We have 7 companies that have committed $500,000 a year for 6 years.
550.
550,000. Yes. And those that we are looking at are to increase the economic and educational opportunity of residents, leverage ongoing efforts to change the negative perception of safety in downtown. This is very important. And encourage residents to own assets, not just houses, but businesses. And encourage residents also to become more active in community affairs. We would like other people to visit downtown and also live here and do their leisure activities in Center City. As you know, Upside Allentown is in Center City. It is not the whole of Center City. It is a big part of Center City. We have a map here that portrays what Upside Allentown is. So the north boundary is Tillman Street. The west is 12th Street. What you see is the south boundary is MLK Jr. Drive. And the east boundary is Jordan Heights. It is somehow reflective of what David was depicting before as Center City. Upside Allentown is complemented by certain subcommittees. We identify them as physical enhancement. These are physical improvements, housing, economic development, and workforce development. We have public safety, marketing, education, and of course, arts and culture. So those are the 7 subcommittees that actually comprise Upside Allentown. That is where the more than 130 volunteers are trying to work together with CACLV and the City of Allentown in order to move projects to change Center City. We go now to how it is run. That's the second page. We have a plan actually that is what we call a blueprint of development for the revitalization of Upside Allentown. And that plan is a dynamic plan. It is not static. We update it almost